Now it's time for the sand drag here at Tilal Sweihan. So let's check out some of the sand drag cars. And yeah, we have some really serious cars here. It's like a Pro Mod engine here, Pro Mod chassis, and Mickey Thompson pedal tires here in the back. So yeah, check this one out a little bit in detail. This is F Performance cars, usually driven by Saeed Al Khamsi. I think he's driving this one tonight as well. It's a full Pro Mod cage looking like in this one. We have an Lenco gearbox, MSD, I think the ignition system, race pack logging. It is ET Drags that is modified with these pedals. It's 34.5 17/16, so yeah, really big tires. And Bigger Digger Scat Track is the pedals on this one. We have a big Mark Williams maybe rear end, yes, and some Precision Racing suspension. Of course we got a wheelie bar and one slick here on the back holding the as a tire. It looks like the wheelie bar is in titanium. Nice welding there. And this one actually is four-wheel drive. We can see the four-wheel drive unit there after the Lenco gearbox, and the transfer gearbox goes an axle to the front. Accelerator pedal with a hook there, so you will not get your foot off the pedal. Brake pedal, nice welded one. Could it be stainless or titanium? Maybe this one as well. And it is the mechanical fuel injection on these ones. They're actually taking out 4,500 horsepower out of this one. Of course in the start it's less, but in the end of the run 4,500. And the traction I compared to a drag car, actually in the beginning of the pass the traction or the G-forces is actually less, and in the end maybe it is a little bit more G-forces than it would have been in a drag car on a drag strip. It's an Penske shocks here in the front, and there's also some sensors there, linear sensors to potentiometers for checking the travel, so you can tune the suspension. We have the red button here on the steering wheel, that is the trans brake. When the driver lets it go, the car shoots away. And the steering rack here, it is titanium, looks like. Some nice rods there, and yeah, it's bolted into the chassis there, so instead of welded, because I guess the chassis is chromoly in this one. You can see all the nice welds here. And I think all this car is built here in UAE. So here we can see the transfer gearbox just on the side of the driver, where the drive shaft's going forward. But yeah, most of the drive shafts have some tunnels there, so some safety sheet metal ones.
Yeah, there's some crazy big turbos in this, like that one right there.
Yeah, really Sub-Zero, they have, there's Sub-Zero here, crazy bars.
Looks like
Fin.
these ones is also titanium ones.
Just watch me, I'll guide him in from the back.
Sub-Zero have a big presence here, a lot of cars, and yeah, this one, a pickup with an TB48 engine. It's like a 94mm turbo there. The block is still the iron block here. Nice exhaust manifold. It got the automatic gearbox. Power output of this one, yeah, it could be around 1400 horsepower. Electric pump here for the steering. Big regulator there. We got a dry sump pump. SMS built intake manifold. Also an interesting location for the radiator on this one. On top of the bed here we have it. Small one with an electronic water pump fitted directly onto there. Also they are changing the tires here as well. Yeah, and here we can see the dry sump pump of this one as well, and it got a fuel pump mounted directly in the back here of the dry sump. That's a very smart thing, I think. And the engine mounts here, it's bolted directly into the chassis. We can actually see the read HS400 gearbox there also. And the drive shaft going to the front axle. Here we have the front axle. And also about the front axle, if you've seen my Liva 2023 videos, some of the crashes, what actually happened there is that the drive shafts snap. If maybe one left-hand and right-hand snaps, it's almost impossible to steer these ones up the hill. So yeah, that's not bad driving. It is yeah, actually the gear, it's a drive shaft problem. Also on this one, we don't have any intercooler at all. Just a pipe directly from the turbo to the intake manifold, but we can see here a couple of injectors. So this one is putting in methanol, and I am pretty sure that it's methanol injected by the normal injectors as well. But this one, a little bit earlier in the charge, putting methanol in will cool the charge. So that's a thing I've seen on many drag cars, for example, in Sweden. And the whole body is actually carbon fiber. You can see the floor here, carbon fiber. Seat, aluminum. It's a drag racing seat. We have the automatic gearbox. We have some switches here to start the car, ignition. Very minimalistic, but that's very good. We got a nitrous. They got also a big fire extinguishers. Many of the cars actually have fire extinguishers. I don't think all of them have that, but many have that. So if there is any fire, yeah, you can see here, for example, these aluminum pipes, their fire extinguisher detergent is coming out, so to protect the driver. I don't know if it has in the engine bay as well. Yeah, it actually has, even though it's a very open engine bay, but here is some as well. And here we have an LS twin turbo V8. So they have almost one car for each category, I think, here. Here is the 6-cylinder with the nitrous. TB48 here as well. They got the V8 with nitrous, without the turbo. And yeah, 2 nitrous systems on these ones. I think it's actually an LS3 engine with this one, LS3 heads, mechanical lifters, and yeah, about 600 horsepower in the engine and about 600 horsepower of nitrous. After this one we have another one of these V8 nitrous engines. Mechanics checking everything here, checking the wheels. We got another one here of the TB48s, and NA. This one also have this nice billet intake manifold. shiny, nice here in the sun. And yeah, no water pump there, but they're running in small radiator. Water pump directly on here on the radiator. And Sub-Zero is the only ones, I think, that run these Jeep chassis. They switched over to that a couple of years ago. So we have the nitrous here. Looks like in max ECU in this one, and a lot of relays there. This one I think is the oldest car. It's running on a Link ECU, and yeah, it's a good successful car. Usually it wins. They're running lambda sensors, one on each cylinder. And it's also the NTK ones, so yeah, the good ones and the expensive ones. So yeah, that's good. Very optimized, I think, the tuning on these ones. And yeah, with this much, maybe 500-600 horsepower of nitrous, yeah, I think it's very good. More of these transparent water lines as well. Very interesting to see. Would be cool to have. You can see the water flowing. Interesting to see the water, that it is air inside here as well. So yeah, even though this is a higher point, this is fully filled, but here out of the engine we have some air. Rival garage here, also in 6-cylinder TB48. A lot of aerodynamic on this one. And the fuel of this one, it's the methanol. Fueling up. Paxton is here. This one looks like it is a 4-door from the beginning, but modified to 2-door. Looks like a long wheelbase one, but I think it's just modified there. Carbon fiber, nice in the sun. You never got stopped amazed about the size of these turbos. Over 90, 94 millimeter probably. And the rear axle has to be the original. So if you're running a Patrol, it has to be a Patrol axle. If you're running a Jeep, it has to be like the Donna ones, the Jeep ones. And in this category, it's only the modern track BF Goodrich tires that is allowed to use. There is some better sand tires, but in this category, it's these ones. This Patrol from Saudi, it actually has the stock intake manifold on it with the dual throttle bodies like this stock, I guess. Still a big turbo, but yeah, this looks a little bit more like a street build. Next to this one, got a more race build, and yeah, this one is cool. It has a huge intake manifold there, and 3 of these very big throttle bodies. Yeah, so a lot of air goes into these ones. More than 100 millimeters each of these throttle bodies. Sheet metal, plenum, and the runners are billet. Also the fuel rail there as well. Some MSD ignition coils. Actually covering up some of the engines. I don't know if it is any trade secrets or if they just keep them the sand out of the engines. Yeah, here is the NA category, and here you can see you have the Sandmaster tires. So these ones is a little bit better in the sand compared to the BF Goodrich ones. And of course the tire pressure is very important, so they're adjusting the tire pressure now. And yeah, no air filters on these ones, but this one has the intake pretty high here, so yeah, it should be all cleared good for the sand there. You can hear the electric water pump, and yeah, with these see-through hoses you can see some of the water flowing there as well. TB48 here as well. Some billet intake manifold, and yeah, I think the turbo here also like 94-96 millimeter one, Garrett one, big air-to-air intercooler here. This is also a 6-cylinder TB48 nitrous 6-cylinder, and if you compare, this one has one of the throttle bodies almost smaller than the size of the one we saw just recent, 3 of them. So yeah, I don't know how much different it makes in power. Usually these makes about 500-600 horsepower NA, and yeah, some of these put out like 600 horsepower of nitrous as well. 2 systems on this one. And I think this one is maybe a burst plate. That's good when you're running a lot of nitrous. If you get a backfire, this one will pop open, and instead of blowing the intake manifold open there. Also interesting always to see different suspension. I don't know how important it is in this race where it's not uphill, it's just straight plain ground, so yeah, but I think it's still important. Big trumpet inlet there, and some lightweight brackets for the fuel pumps, for the water pump. Yeah, why not? If it works, it works. What I've seen about these V8s is that most of them are running the aluminium blocks. No need with this without the big turbos to run the iron blocks. And this one, it is a manual gearbox. We can see the cylinder there. Yeah, manual gear. We have the two gear shifters there, like the original Nissan Patrol. I think we have another one for the open category. It has these special front tires, but it's not four-wheel drive, this one, but twin turbo. And yeah, tires for these ones, it's looking like it has some pedal tires going on. It's actually some hosier tires modified with these scoops. Also on this one we have the radiator here in the back. It's actually good to have it this high for evacuating all the air of the system, so yeah, not stupid. Charging the batteries. Many of the cars, by the way, they're using like the 16-volt batteries. I'm not sure what this one is, but I could guess so. Another car for the Pro category, so it's kind of an Pro mod engine sitting very far back here. Big one, billet block with a blower there. Race World team, and yeah, the Pro category. And the tires, yeah, it's some Goodyears with the pedals. Yeah, the pedals not covering all of the tires as the F Performance one. And here we can see that the transfer gearbox is back here. It's an aluminum one. Some strange parts looking like, the brand is strange. And yeah, the drive shaft to the front goes under the body. It's actually 4,200 horsepower out of this one. And yeah, working on it. And of course this one is the four-wheel drive one. We have the front axle there. Mechanical fuel injection on these ones, and it got a magnetic MSD ignition system. Here actually they are putting oil into the heads before they start it. Yeah, many steps on working on driving these kind of engines. And the exhaust, it's just some zoomies here going out on the side. Hearing protection is needed when seeing these ones drive. And yeah, beautiful machine, the engine block there. This is fuel pump directly mounted to the block, I think. One positive thing here with the crankcase ventilation is that it's just a hose going down like on old cars. Doesn't has to be into any catch can because it's all on sand.
6.
خلاص خلاص خلاص
شوف اليوم شوف كيف